part of ADHD is that you get really intensely into something for a short amount of time, and then you move on to something else.
I like to call it Mikey's phases.
Yeah, and so I've had a lot of phases over the years.
Wait, should we go through me naming them?
Sure.
Magic tricks. Frisbee golf, but that one has really stuck around. That is one that's stuck around the most.
It's been a whole year.
Yeah, that one has really stuck around. I mean, there's like a variety of different board games, like specifically like you get hyper-focused, like Splendor, and you bring it everywhere with you. And then I feel like it went to Century after that. But then there's like the overarching ones that you're always into, like Dominion. Sometimes you get really into like cooking, like making like sauces and stuff,
Sometimes
like
really get into
salsas
cooking.
and things like that, or jams. You got really into decorating your house.
Oh, I did.
Initially. And right now you're also really into VHSs.
Oh yeah, I'm super into VHSs.
That one. Let me think of some of the older ones though.
I just ordered a bunch on eBay last night.
3 days later.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Post Show, the whole show, the Mo and Joe Show. Also known as
the birthday
Mojo
show. We're talking everything birthday, specifically mine.
And just like my birthday, I'm neglecting to recognize Mikey's birthday, except I'm not, because I threw you an entire birthday party on your actual birthday with all your favorite things and all your favorite people.
And next year I will remember to bring iced tea to your birthday party. Not the drink, the human being. He's coming. Book your tickets now. VIP passes are available. It's $3.99. Yeah.
$399?
Yeah.
$3.99.
That dude's appearance fees are probably through the roof. You got 22 seasons of just clout to build.
I actually think it might be more than 22 seasons, but I can't remember if it's 22 or 24.
Fair enough.
But anyways.
We're actually here to talk about history.
History, Mikey's favorite topic. You haven't had a history phase yet. Do you think that's coming?
I don't know. There probably has been like some. When I was actually a kid.
Book club phase.
Ooh, yeah. When I was a kid,
Sorry.
I was actually really into soldiers and war for a little while. Like I had that kind of phase. Like I actually thought I was going to join the military for a brief period as a child. Would have been real bad, but I thought for a moment. And I kind of thought I liked history.
And then you.
Do you guys actually, anyone out there, if this makes the cut, there was this series of books. Oh man, I wish I could remember, like Magical Treehouse.
Magic Treehouse.
Magic Treehouse. Do you remember that? And they were like.
I guarantee you, 95% of the people watching know that book series.
I got really into those. I was like, I would go to Barnes & Noble.
You just said it like it was like a very niche thing.
I think it kind of is.
Not that like everybody in elementary school is reading those books.
I didn't know that. I got really into them. It's kind of like, it's like a hipster thing. You probably haven't heard of it.
Anyways, you got really into them like every other young child.
I'm special. Anyways.
And you like to read the history ones?
I thought they were all history ones.
No, some of them are like adventure ones.
Oh. Yeah, I remember like George Washington crossing the Delaware River and stuff.
Yeah, but they also had like more like fantasy ones too.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk about the actual sermon now? Or?
Yeah, we should.
Stephen Manwiller, first time up there, he pointed to the stands and he knocked it out of the park. He Babe Ruthed it, you know?
Yeah.
He went up there and he did his thing.
Yeah, and I mean, he knows so much about Israel.
Yeah.
In history.
Yeah, when I say he did his thing, I mean that was his thing.
That's his thing.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yes, it was really interesting.
Undisputed.
I would say that I'm like middle of the line with history, like how much I like it.
Show me where the line is.
So this is like...
That's two lines.
This is Stephen.
Okay.
This is you.
Okay.
I'm probably like here.
Oh, so you're a little closer.
But I can be persuaded depending on how passionate the person is. Like if the person that's talking is really passionate.
Actually, real quick, so I'll do the rank. You show me where every single person in the congregation sits in here. So start alphabetically. We're gonna rank you.
Anyway.
Tune into the extended post show where we rank every single one of you by your historical knowledge. That's part of the thing. When Johanna greets you at the door, she's eyeing you up, trying to figure out where you sit historically.
Anyways, I found it really interesting because I know that Stephen's really passionate about it, and I could tell that he was really passionate. And also, not only is he's passionate, but like he's accurate. Like he knew what he was talking about, which I feel like those two things, when they come together, I get really interested.
Ooh, and a point for Stephen here real quick. He said, I really wanted to be like Levi and go up there without notes. this is for anyone listening, but specifically for Stephen, if you are listening, Levi does have notes up there. He's just really good at hiding them.
They're
and
hidden,
very small.
and he writes literally like.
Yeah, but he
I
has
don't know
notes.
how he reads them, but he does have notes. They're
So,
hidden in his Bible.
Cut yourself
usually.
a break. You did great. Levi uses notes as well.
He was also giving a lot more facts than Levi
Yeah.
usually gives. Which...
We all use notes. It's part of the game.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't want like a historical overview every Sunday, but I think every once in a while, especially when Levi is doing this sermon series about getting people to get excited about reading their Bible, I like got excited. I was like, okay, I need to like understand more about these prophecies that he's talking about, because I was like, I like kind of generally know. I thought that one of the most interesting things that he brought up was talking about the prophecy for the Jewish people, and then talking about, and kind of like you said, was kind of like a disclaimer to the congregation about how you speak with Jewish people about the Holocaust. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really interesting, and I had never ever once had that thought that there could be an idea of the Holocaust happening, or just bad things in general happening to the Jewish people in order to fulfill these prophecies. And it made me think about that age-old question that I feel like we're always talking about and always asking, is how a good, loving God could allow bad things to happen.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense that this is something that we'll always revert back to, because this is probably the most dogmatic thing for non-believers.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you look inward and you're like, I just can't believe that you would serve a God that you say is all-knowing, all-loving, but would allow something like the Holocaust. I've heard this used as an example. That would allow something like the Holocaust to occur. And I think as a Christian, you have to struggle with this question. You have to like look at something like the Holocaust, reading accounts of it, and you're like, that is the most, like one of the most biggest, greatest atrocities ever to occur against the human race. And like, that's not even against Jewish people in general. That's like the human race.
Yeah, just like humanity.
Yeah. Anyways, so you have to look at that through the lens of like, how could God allow that to happen? Mm-hmm. There's no way around that question.
Yeah, and I think it also made me think about how we as Christians, especially when Stephen was talking about the conversations that he's had in his life, how we always want to like find an answer for bad things. We always want to say like, oh, it's because of this that happened, or oh, it's because this prophecy needed to be fulfilled, because for one, we're really uncomfortable with the unknown, and we're uncomfortable with the mystery that is the complexities of God, and the mysteries that are, woven into this question of how a loving God could allow bad things to happen. Yeah,
I think I've said it a couple times, but something I always think about is like, what are the markers of spiritual maturity? And I think one of the greatest markers of spiritual maturity is getting to a space of saying, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, in getting comfortable with that, being able to sit with it and say, especially like when someone's coming to you in a time of pain or discomfort, or just, when someone has a question for you, to just be able to say, with boldness, I don't know, but I'm willing to search for it with you. And
also that we're willing to like be sympathetic with you. Like, I don't know the answer and I don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
But I'm here with you and I love you, because that is such a big part of God's character and Jesus's character.
And I think a great act of courageous faith is to say, I don't know. And I don't know if God needs me to know, or like I can entrust God in this unknowingness, like to be able to get to that point to say, I don't need to know. God knows. I don't need to know, unless He needs me to know.
Yeah.
In which case, I want to search with it for Him. That doesn't mean like you get to a point where you stop asking God for answers to these questions, but to get to a point where you say, maybe this isn't a question that God needs me to search for. Like, am I okay with sitting with the idea that I may never know the answer to this, but God knows it and God's larger than it, and God can take something like the Holocaust, while it may not have needed to happen, but still be able to take something as terrible as that and make something from it. And that is the ultimate marker of courage and faith, is to just be able to say, this is a terrible thing, God, but I know that you can make something from it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you have any practical applications along with that of how to have these conversations with people, not just about this subject matter, but about other subject matter, specifically ones that maybe we personally don't have experience with?
Yes. I think I had a really difficult conversation just 2 weeks ago. Got a phone call about a subject matter that I don't know much about, and it was bigger than me and bigger than something I could tackle. And the only response that I could necessarily have during that moment was to just sit back and say, that does sound scary. Like to start by empathizing with their feelings and start to say, wow, acknowledge the feeling that they're experiencing, and to first release myself from having the answers because I don't have them, but to just be able to let them know that, oh, what you're feeling is valid, and I'm with you in that, and we can do a lot from there. We can work from there, but I think to start by saying, wow, I hear what you're saying. It sounds scary, sounds terrible. Like to experience that with them, and to just be with them, be present, to ask questions, to gain the understanding, to hopefully work past it in the future. But I think it starts by relieving yourself of the need to be able to answer those questions, to be able to toss it out the door and give yourself the permission to stumble, to give yourself the permission to just sit back and listen and give God the space to talk.
Yeah. I think that is like really similar to what my advice would be, which is to not always go into conversations needing to solve a problem. Like, I think that's so often, and I think that's our natural human inclination for a lot of us, is that someone comes to us with a problem, and we're like, oh, I need to figure out how to solve this. I need to figure out how to make this better. I need to have an answer. And how that is not always what is best suited for situations. And sometimes that takes a while to get to that point in a relationship or in a conversation.
Well, I think as Christians, as we step closer to Christ, we all want to be healers, but we're all called to be listeners.
Yeah.
And I think healing starts with listening. So that's an encouragement to you guys. I hope you can take that and do something with it. I know it's been great for my relationships and my people and my conversations. Anything that you need to know before we get out of here?
No, that's all.
All right. Love you guys. See you next week. I dreamed about being like a dead body in SVU.
No.
You never would want to be like an extra on the show?
No, I wouldn't want to be a part of the show.
Really? Something you love enough that you've watched 22 seasons of it, you would not want to be that close to it?
I mean, I guess I'd want to meet Mariska Haggerty.
That's not a real human being.
That's her name. That's Olivia Benson's name.